Going to show you how to check for sealant inside your tire. We're not going to break the bead. We're going to use the removable core. We're going to take that out. So this is my cyclocross bike, and I do run tubeless on this. I got wheels set on there. They are tubeless specific. It's either going to say tubeless specific or UST, but this one doesn't say that. But basically you can look inside the rim, take the tire off, take no tire liner. It's going to look like there's a tire liner because there's no holes. It's going to be very smooth. So no holes means no leaks. Basically going to look like this. You got one hole that's going to be where your valve goes through, and then the rest is going to be all completely smooth. This is a carbon wheel and no tire liner whatsoever. You can use a toothpick or a screwdriver to try and pick that up, which I don't recommend, but nothing there, nice and solid, which no spoke holes means no leakage. You could have a tubeless wheel that's aluminum as well. It doesn't have to be carbon, but because there's no drilled holes in the backside, that means there's going to be no leakage. If you do see sealant leaking out near the base of your nipple right here, it's an indication that we have leakage on the inside. And if it's a wheel that has rim tape or stands tape or anything like that, or even guys are using duct tape or Gorilla tape to form a seal covering those spoke holes, if there's anything leaking on the top here, then your seal has failed or shifted over on that particular area, but which needs to be taken care of. Sometimes the sealant will clog and seal that area. That's what we really want that sealant to do as well, but in some cases it doesn't happen. So generally what I like to do with these, if you do have the removable core, which is definitely recommended, I have seen valves without a removable core, which kind of defeats the purpose of trying to reseal everything or put your new sealant in there. But we're going to let the air out. Either you can let it out slowly this way, and if you find the air is leaking out at a slow rate, it could be we're a little bit clogged, which means we have to pull it out and clean it anyway. So I'm going to use this tool right here. This has two flat sides, and it grabs the core, which has two flat sides. And if you have lots of air left in here, just hang tight to this tool and to the core, because the core may want to fly out of your hands. So do this very slow, remove it slow. That way it doesn't blow that core right out of your fingers across the room. So once we do that, you can use something very thin to fit inside there. Find something thin. I used an old spoke. I just cut it down. That way I'm not hitting the wheel. Make sure it's clean at the end. And we're just dipping this in. We're gonna make sure this core is down at your 6 o'clock. It's straight down in the middle of the bottom here. That way all the fluid's gonna, if there is any, it's gonna all puddle up right here, and you're gonna get an accurate reading. Just drop that inside. Boom, make sure you hit the bottom, and if it's clogged here, we're going to poke all that stuff out, get it out of the way. Then we're going to lift up, hold this horizontal, get this in a good light, and we're going to look for any wetness. And I can definitely see wetness right where the thread starts, right where my finger is. It's all wet, so that's telling me it has a decent amount. We want at least 1 to 2 ounces in these smaller 700 tires, maybe 2 to 3 if we're going bigger, 27.5 or 2900 or 29er. So this is stands. We might have a mixture of a little bit of new and stuff that's a few months old, but from here to here it's wet. When in doubt, you could always touch it with your finger, look at your finger, look for wetness on that finger. But from here to here is what we got there, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. And then the next thing, we can go ahead and look at this tool right here. So this is the valve core remover. So it's two-ended. So on this end here, that's for the removable core side. Flat side, hard to see, but flat side shave there. Turn it over 180 degrees, flat on that side. That's telling me that it can receive a tool. This tool right here might be really hard to see, but it does have a flat edge, flat side, flat side. If you do need to fill up, you go ahead and purchase this at one of your local bike shops. It's the stands, no tubes. This is the injector, or you might use a different brand. There's Orange Seal. I'm sure there's a few more different styles out there. But with this here, you're gonna thread this plastic piece. It is plastic thread, so be very careful when you thread it onto your valve core or your valve, and usually you can just put this in the bottle, suck up your proper amount. This will hold about 2 ounces right here, and then just go ahead and screw it onto your wheel, inject it in there, unscrew that, and just have a napkin ready to go. You get a couple drops is okay, but that's going to do the job.